You know, it's not just dreams that have something to say, nightmares do too. They just like to scream it at you. What's up, guys, and welcome to Generically Yours, the channel that makes you realize that if you have enough caffeine and a will to make it work, anything's possible. A lot of people have probably heard the term dream diary before. It's a place to write down dreams when you wake up so that you can remember what they are, because dreams are known to have symbolism for internal struggles. And by looking at your dream, a lot of times you can get to the root of things and help yourself out. What a lot of people don't talk about is the fact that nightmares do the same, only their symbolism is scary as crap. Wake up in a cold sweat, and all along your brain is screaming at you, something's wrong, fix me. So today we're going to make a nightmare diary, nightmare journal, nightmare notebook, whatever you want to call it. Basically the equivalent of a dream diary for the nights that you wake up in terror. This project's going to be very simple, very easy. I would rate it a anyone can do it on the scale. To do this project, we're going to use some things that you can find at whatever store is closest to you. For me, it happens to be good old Ye of Wally Mart. I found this notebook in stationery for about $2. It fulfills the purpose. We're also going to use some fabric that I also found at Ye Olde Wally Mart. This is pretty cheap too. This is maybe 90 something cents and a couple dollars, but you get a decent sized chunk of fabric, and this should be more than enough to cover this. And as I said, this project's going to be very easy. How easy? We're using stickers. Yeah, easy. Anyone can do this, I promise. You could also draw on characters if you want, print out things from the internet, magazines, newspapers, just make it work for you. These stickers came out of one of those gumball machine things, and of course they're horror movie themed. I also have some slightly Halloweenish, spooky themed stickers that I got, and I thought these could be good too because it would give them a little pop of color, you know, just a little bit, because those other stickers are very dark. So balance. It's all about balance. We're also going to try something I've never tried before, but I've seen it done. I just don't know if I can do it. And this channel is all about how far can I push myself today? So this is one of those tattoo things from the gumball machine. So I'm gonna see if I can get a tattoo to stick to fabric. And I'm gonna do this first, so if I mess it up, I can just put another sticker over it. Don't be afraid of mistakes, just have a plan B. I'm also going to use some acrylic paint in the darkest red I've got to simulate blood splatter. I also have some red resin laying around somewhere. I've got to find it. I'm hoping I can. If you see this in the video, obviously I found it. You'll know before I know if I found it. And of course, it wouldn't be a project of mine unless I use something special to seal it all when I'm done. Something I love. I can't get enough of. I use so much. If you've been here before, you know it, you love it. Mod Podge. So let's grab our notebook, grab our coffee, and make it work. To start the project, all you gotta do is spread your book out that you're going to use and trace around it for the most part, but give yourself at least an inch to 2 inches clearance. And then just mark out where the spine is and just make a little mark so that you know where the spine is, because you're going to have to cut that out and flip it over and glue it so that you don't have spare fabric around the spine. See, here I am flipping it over and just gluing over it with Mod Podge so that, you don't have random fabric sticking out. And then gluing in a bookmark is easy. If you would rather do a bookmark, you don't have to include it, but I thought it was kind of nice because you're going to be flipping this thing open quick, trying to write down what you remember of your nightmare. So just glue it down a third to half of the way down so that you know it's not going to come out. and then just glue it to the spine. And then don't worry if your fabric has any kind of wrinkles in it, because when you glue it, you're going to smooth it out, and there's not going to be any wrinkles to worry about. Now, trying to cover this book, I'm going to show you guys the back cover because the front, honestly, I messed up because I didn't figure out how to do it correctly. But this is the best way to do it. Fold in the corner, make sure it's glued down, then fold in the bottom flap, and then at the very end, fold in the side flap. Trial and error. I did the trial part and did the error part so you can have the easy part. And as far as making the internal part, I tried to get something that matched as close as possible, but you could also do this with fabric or any other kind of construction paper if you want a different color. But all you do is trace around the first page so you know it's the right size, and then just glue it in. And glue it just over a little bit so that it hides the seam lines. The tattoo, it worked out better than I thought. I put quite a bit of pressure on it just to make sure, but it was fine. The stickers though, I just want you to know that if you use the same kind of stickers that I did, the ones that you find in the gumball machines at like grocery stores and stuff, you may have to glue them down. Because, full transparency, I did have to go ahead and glue them down afterwards because they kept popping up. Then you get your acrylic paint if you feel like it needs some blood splatter, and just kind of plop it on there any way you want so it looks kind of like blood splatter. Seal everything you did with Mod Podge. And if you happen to have some resin left over from any other project that you can turn red or is red, feel free to go over it. This is UV resin, and I have a handy tiny little UV light that I used. In the end, even with the hiccups, it ended up being a pretty simple project. So guys, it's done. It turned out really well. It looks exactly as I would expect a Nightmare Diary to look. I do think adding the resin was a good idea. I like the raised 3D effect it gave it. I think the stickers I picked for the back are perfect. Perfect placement, not too much, not too little. But at least that way, if it does get flipped over, it's not just bland. Because you need something on both sides. And it has plenty of space for all of your nightmares. You can write down recurring themes, recurring ideas. You can find out what the symbolism in them is. And maybe just for once, after you understand yourself and what your subconscious is trying to tell you, you won't wake up screaming. So guys, if you enjoyed yourself, please feel free to drop a comment below. Let me know, are you planning on making your own Nightmare Diary? Or do you want to use that same process and maybe make a dream diary if you have more dreams than nightmares? And if you haven't done so already, please remember to subscribe to the channel. And don't forget guys, on the way out, slap a like on it.